Welcome back to the Gadget Show, a Flash Forward special.
This week, we're all doing a bit of future gazing and showing you the sort of tech you can expect in your lives in the not-too-distant future.
Next up is John and some very, very clever robots.
Our world wouldn't be the same without robots. They make everything from cars to washing machines. They're used by doctors and by the military, and some are very smart indeed. But to make an android, a robot that can pass for being human, is a different kettle of bolts. I wanted to find out how close we are to achieving it, so I set out on a mission to find the perfect humanoid robot. First stop, the ARS Electronica Festival in Austria. If robots are going to become part of our everyday lives, then it's vital that we should be able to interact with them, which is where this chap comes in. He's a Geminoid, basically a robotic clone of a human. The steel and silicone Geminoid is made out of casts taken from its creator, Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro. It's powered by pressurized air and uses 50 small actuators to mimic movement. Of course, the Geminoid doesn't actually have a brain. It works by remote control, so even though I look nothing like Hiroshi, I got the chance to step into his shoes. I've got a couple of screens so I can see what's going on, and I've got two cameras pointing at my face, picking up points around my mouth and around my eyes, and that information is being transmitted to the Geminoid. Take a seat. Where are you from? I'm from the UK. Very kind of you, sir. Yes. It's amazing how people respond so much more positively to a robot with a human face, even one with the limited range of the Geminoid. But then again, that's what this project is all about. Ah, no. Everyone's very friendly. Although some are a bit rougher than others. Ow. Oh, yeah, I'm quite rubbery. Oh, bye-bye. The Geminoid represents a huge step towards making robots look and act like humans. But how close are we to making them think like humans? To find out, I jetted to sunny Brighton, where I'd been invited along to judge a Turing test. The Turing test is a test of a machine's ability to demonstrate intelligence, to think for itself. It's named after Alan Turing, the brilliant mathematician, who back in 1950 thought that by the year 2000, computers would be able to think for themselves and we'd struggle to tell them apart from humans. Although Turing was wrong about that, it doesn't stop people trying. And at today's event, me and my fellow judges are going to be messaging 3 of the world's best artificial conversation programs and 3 humans. Will we be able to tell the difference? Well, that's the test. Hello. It's a good start. Oh, what else? These so-called chatterbot programs typically work by recognizing keywords and phrases. This allows them to then reply using pre-prepared responses which are designed to fool you into thinking you're speaking to a real person. You need a good polish. Was surreal. It started oddly, and over the course of the afternoon, it didn't get much better. What's the arcosine of the square root of 2 divided by 2 in degrees? Oh, it just shows how sophisticated sort of our thought processes are in comparison with the way these things are programmed, sadly. And although we had some amusing conversations, none of the computers came close to passing the Turing test. So, the $100,000 prize remains unwon for another year. Having been disappointed in Brighton, I travelled to Plymouth to see the birth of what some are hoping will be a robot revolution. This is the iCub, a 1-metre-tall baby robot. It's part of a €100 million a year cognitive robotics project to develop a robot that moves like a small child and learns like one. Eventually, they hope it'll be able to walk, crawl, balance, grasp objects in a lifelike way, and even feel things with its fingertips. Just like a toddler, but without the tantrums and toilet training. There are currently 18 different iCubs under development at universities around the world. They're all working on different functions of the robot with the hope of bringing all the research together to make a super iCub. Here at the University of Plymouth, they're concentrating on the recognition of speech objects and colour and translating that into movement. So if I say red, the iCub will pick up the red in this bear's coat and follow it round as I move the bear across its field of vision. The iCub already understands the words red, blue and green, and once asked will look for and lock onto any one of these colours. Here its camera eyes have found red. In a couple of years' time, they reckon the iCub will have the linguistic powers of a 3-year-old and will be able to understand short sentences and act on them. So if you say, pick up that ball or take the cat out of the washing machine, it'll do it.
Fascinating.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah.
But am I right in thinking that it seems as though robots are a long way off being able to emulate humans and actually be self-aware and actually be intelligent?
I know progress is frustratingly slow, but I think it's accelerating and it might surprise us because once these different disciplines come together, you will have this robot that can think and feel and develop and talk to you sooner than we might think.
And let's not forget, there are so many areas in which robots are already way in advance of us in terms of their mathematical ability. And their ability to do certain physical tasks like really quick movements and assembling things, you know. And so I agree with John. I actually think it's very exciting. I mean, you were, after all, sending a message to a robot and getting a relatively intelligible response, which is often not the case with me and my 4-year-old. So, you know, not bad.